Asato Ma Gaia Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya
Hello, hello. It is Tuesday at 5:55, which means I am sitting in front of my camera again. Me, myself, and I, until more of you decide you want to come and play, and then it's going to be me, myself, I, and lots of friends. So for now, yeah, we begin with another thank you to Alicia Mathewson for the beautiful chant that always guides us into this space. The Asato Ma Prayer, if you're not familiar with it, the translation says, lead me, guide me, from untruth into truth, from darkness into light, and from death to immortality. And so we open this conversation where I sit with the video camera and this infinite consciousness that is my soul speaks very clearly through this human body that I know as Vivian. And along the way, there's usually some surprise that I'm not aware we're going to talk about or look at, and I see things and feel things and then try to translate them in the moment so that there's some message that can be transmitted from my heart, my soul, out into the world, into consciousness, into your YouTube channel, into your computer or your phone, and then received by you in your heart and your soul. It's really remarkable, isn't it, that it works this way? That I can sit here in my home, which is super comfy with heat and light and technology and liquids here if I'm thirsty and everything that I need around me, and I can just transmit, love and light and joy and peace and send this signal out, and then all these wires and cables and computers will somehow do their magic thing, and then you'll be on the other end able to turn on your phone or your computer and sit in your comfy space and then receive. It's just incredible. I mean, I feel like we take it for granted. I've tried to explain this to my children before. They're 16 and 20, and they're like, what do you mean you didn't have a cell phone? What do you mean you had to call somebody with a phone that has a cord that only works in your house? Like, what is that? You mean you couldn't get in your car and have a map show up on your phone and tell you where to go? You had to use like a printed map? What is this printing thing? It's only been, 20 years? It hasn't been that long. And look at what has already shifted, at how almost numb we have become to the miracle of this form of communication. The ability for our entire world to be able to come to online places and chat and communicate and do stuff and exchange business and create and share. Like, how do we take that for granted? How is it that we have just become accustomed to the miracle of technology and communication? Sometimes it's a good reminder to go, wow, so cool. It's so cool. This morning when my son and I were driving to school, again, some of the stuff I start following down the little trails. Who knows where we'll go. When I was driving my son to school this morning, we have our new car, which I love. Speaking of grateful, I am so grateful for Bella. We have named her because she's so beautiful, and Bella means beautiful. This 3-year-old black pilot that I just love. And we climb inside, my son and I, on the way to school. And we have an aux cord and Bluetooth and all these crazy cool technological gadgets. And so he sits there. I mean, the miracle of this, right? He sits in his warm seat because it has leather heat seaters. What? When I was 16, my butt was cold and it was in the back and there were other kids in the car, or I was on a bus. There was no front seat chauffeuring to school. Actually, at 16, I'm trying to remember. I think I was carpooling with the neighbors who ended up becoming my sister-in-law. I think that's who we carpooled with. Because I don't think my brother had a car that first year he drove. It was not the luxury with which my son gets his ride to school in the morning. But it was still perfect and fun. And at the time, it was so good because that's what we knew. You know, I remember, I'm going down a little trail again, but I remember being in the car with a few of my friends that I would drive to school with when, must have been senior year. I didn't want to be on the bus. And so I got in the car with all these guys who loved the Eagles. I mean, hardcore, jamming as loud as it would go, Eagles. We would jam the whole way to school. I'm pretty sure they liked other groups, but the Eagles are the only one I remember. I didn't know the music, but I learned to know it. And now when I hear the Eagles, I love it. It makes me happy. But I would be stuck in the back in the middle, you know, short person problem. I would always be like the middle hump seat. And where we lived in Cincinnati was like these roads that were just crazy. We had the craziest ride to school. And so we would just like zoom in this older car that would like, you know, bounce. God, this is hysterical. So funny. For anyone who lives in Cincinnati, we were going up and down Ebenezer Road, which is like the cool road to travel when you're 16 or 17 and you're learning to drive. So hysterical. Anyway, that was then. Here we are now. So my son and I get in the car this morning, and he and I are both music lovers, but his music is not always the same as my music, depending on what mood he's in. But he seems to like rap, you know, like the rap that swears a lot, but has a really good chill beat to it. So I can handle a little bit, but not a lot. So he said, "What music do you want to listen to?" You know, from his comfortable spot in the front hot seat. "What music do you want to listen to?" I'm like, "I don't really care. You know, pick something." And so we start driving up the road and waiting. There's no music. Finally, he's like, "You got to give me something." And out of my mouth popped 90s. Like, "Let me have some 90s music." So he said, "Well, what?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just guessing." I'm like, "Prince was 90s, right? Wasn't Prince Michael Jackson?" So I kind of throw those out. So all of a sudden he starts grinning and he plays the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. He knew all the words. I don't know how he knows this music. We were jamming the whole way to school, just laughing and like singing the songs and cracking up. I mean, it was classic. It was classic music. But the point of all of this, before I totally got sidetracked there, the point of all of this is he is sitting in this beautiful seat very comfortably while he's being chauffeured to school, because that's the life that my son has called in for himself, with no distraction, nobody else who we have to chauffeur, just him in the front seat at his schedule. He's the one who comes down the stairs from his room and lets me know when it's time to leave. Like, we are completely about Ryan in the morning. But anyway, as we're driving, he is sitting with this phone smaller than the size of his hand, right? Like a little iPhone. And in that iPhone is the access to any song ever. He just hops onto Spotify, picks out a song, and hits play. What a miracle. I mean, seriously, what a miracle. And then he has volume. If he doesn't like it, he can skip it. Remember when Spotify first came out and you'd have to listen, or Pandora was the first one. You had to listen to all of them. You couldn't skip. And you maybe could skip like one or two, and then it would stop and you wouldn't be able to skip anymore, and you'd have to suffer through whatever the random radio mix was going to give you. Like, he can just skip to whatever, fast forward, turn the volume up, turn the volume down, like switch to the video. If he wants to see the video of it, why not? Let's learn the dance moves while we're driving. It's all in his phone. Isn't that incredible? I mean, how are we taking that for granted? That's just the normal way of life. I feel like there's this possibility to return back to a space of deep gratitude for the abundance, the absolute incredible richness of our lives. Even if many around us are like, "But I don't have this and I need that and I should have, why can't I? Others are doing, look at this, look at the Facebook picture, look at the Instagram post, I want that life, why am I not living that life?" We get all caught up in whatever that is, right? This image of of how life is supposed to be, or what it's supposed to look like, or what we believe other people must be experiencing, and somehow we're lacking because we aren't living that life that we see. But what if we begin, like right here, with absolute gratitude? Like, my body is strong, it's healthy. I had a delicious lunch that was sitting in my fridge that I decided when I was hungry, and I heated it up, and it was beautifully yummy. I have all the food and water I want. I have warmth. I have a safe house. I have all these beautiful relationships and reflections to me if there's something that I need to hear or see. And I have this time to be able to stop and create this video and share my thoughts and ideas without having to guard the words or worry about what I'm saying. I have the freedom to express my ideas and transmit energy. And then the tools and the resources to be able to create a packaged item that I can then like put onto this incredible platform that we call YouTube, and then share on social media and say, oh, you want to watch my thing on YouTube? I mean, it's just remarkable. And sometimes I feel like we have to stop and say, whoa, whoa, so good. It's so good. It's so good. So that is the feeling I have today. Such gratitude for all that I experience right here and right now, and then all that I can share. And yeah, it's good. Yeah, and also like starting your day with Backstreet Boys. I mean, it can't be that bad, right? I think I prefer the Eagles over the Backstreet Boys, but it was really fun to hear my son when he was singing all the words and jamming along with it. It was good. What would I want to share? So let's see. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday was the new moon in Aquarius, which I guess we can explore that a little bit together. It's funny because I have these different platforms that I go between. So I did this meditation on Sunday in Gaia's Love Here Now, and it was this beautiful, deep, energetic clearing to prepare us for the new moon in Aquarius, to have us really tap into what are our bodies feeling, what are the collective energies of the planet co-creating, how do we really step into this threshold of a new lunar vibration, and then feel into like what the possibilities are for the new month. So that was Sunday. So I like had all this experience over there. And then Monday I created the podcast where I talked about Aquarian energy and how I feel as an Aquarius. I'm Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Moon. So I'm a double whammy. Double whammy Aquarius. I'm a lot of Aquarius. So I was just sharing how that feels and how I would describe Aquarian energy. And then I created the new moon meditation yesterday, which, is just this half-hour, 25-minute meditation that specifically focuses on what's possible in this wide open night sky with no moonlight, with Aquarius in the astrological placement or layout. So that was created, and now here I am in this space. And it's funny because sometimes I feel like, do I repeat what I'm saying in different areas? And then I also feel like the intention in the space in each is so different that, it resonates in different ways with different people. So it all has value and it all is consistent with what I believe and what I experience and what I want to share. But each of the platforms have their own little interpretation or tweak, or, like here you get to see me move my hands and bounce around a little bit and look at the camera and look down, look around. Like it's just a whole different experience than my voice on the phone, or my voice. What I love about the podcast. I mean, I love it all. I love it all. But what I love about the podcast, the new moon meditation, what I love about the new moon meditation is that I have found a way to to collaborate with music. So I make a playlist on Spotify. This is totally a sales pitch right now for Spotify. Not intended, but Spotify rocks. Spotify is awesome. So I create a playlist on Spotify, and then I put the headphone in my ear and I'll run Spotify from my iPod, and then I'll record the meditation in my phone. And so I've got all this beautiful sound coming into my ears, which, you know, ears are connected to the throat chakra. So the sound comes in my ears, and then my third eye and my crown are like running this information from source, from collective energy, from my soul, that says, here's this beautiful possibility for the new moon ahead. So all this energy is coming in, and then the sound is coming in through my ears. And so out of my mouth comes this like gorgeous beauty. It's just like, oh, it's so fun. It's so much fun. And then I do all this technology stuff that puts it all together and then put it on my website. And then there's this this way to play, right? Where you can do it. You can put the headphone in your one ear with the Spotify playlist, and you can put the speaker or the other ear with the meditation, and then you have the same matching beauty that comes into your heart and is this channeled flow of energy. I mean, what a miracle. Like, how cool that somewhere my subconscious or my mind or my soul or all of it, like, put it all together and thought this would be a great way to create a meditation. And then I do it and it works, and it's like transformative. Isn't that amazing? It's so cool. Today I'm just really in awe at how simple things are. You know, when I get out of my own way and I stop trying to make things happen and have it, you know, really work. I used to be that way. When I worked at the construction firm especially, I was like, I have schedules, I have deadlines, I have things that we're going to do. Here's your job, here's your job, here's your task. And then I'd like get all frantic when everybody else wasn't doing what they needed to do, and it was affecting like my deadline, right? And I would have all this craziness inside of my body that just made me so cranky. So cranky. I mean, my kids and my husband, they'll be the first to tell you, like, whoa, you were something else back then. Not so nice. You were definitely... Oh, I'll share a story just because those are fun. There was this day. Oh man, it was bad. I think that was when I was still, it was right when I was in the construction firm, or it was right when I left and was working with this other coach, and definitely feeling a lot of tension of trying to perform and make sure I was measuring up, and it was a lot. But there was this day, so bad now that I think about it, we were going to my friend's house, who are like grandparents to my children. They are grandparents to my children. And so we went over there, and I was in my van, my old Odyssey that we just traded in for this new Pilot. So I go over there, I park in the driveway, and we go inside and we're eating dinner. But I'm on a schedule, like it's tight. We got stuff to do. There's a lot going on. So my husband at the time we were dating comes over in his car, and we're all together. Did he? No, he met us at the restaurant. Sorry. I think he met us at the restaurant. So, it was a hot mess. Point of the story was the car wouldn't start, and we needed to still eat dinner, and we had some groceries we had to get for some stuff that my son needed the next day for a party or something at school. So that's to tow the car, which always just hurts my heart. Anytime I've seen any of my cars on a tow truck, it's like a personal, like, oh. So they tow the truck back to the other side of town, because of course we're on complete opposite side of town from where we live. And we all traipse over in the other car, the friend's car, to the restaurant, and we're eating dinner, and everyone's happy, and I'm like stressing out because I don't know what's happening to my car. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know how long it's going to take. Like, everything is out of control. I'm losing it. And I'm trying to like be present for whatever we were celebrating or doing. And I'm trying to like enjoy, but not enjoying it at all. And so then we decided we're going to just quickly run to, you know, the local Kroger store right next door and get what we needed. And my poor husband at the time, we get all of our stuff. Oh, this is so bad. We get home. It's probably like 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm exhausted. I don't have my car. I'm dependent on other people to get around and figure out what to do. Oh my gosh. There's something in the groceries that somehow didn't get in my bag. It's still at the store. And I was standing in the middle of the kitchen with my little son next to me at the time. He must have been, I don't know, 7 or 8. And I'm swearing like, what is it? They say a fishwife? I'm swearing like the worst words loud. He's standing right there. And I'm losing it because the whole world is now out of control because that thing I needed in my grocery bag didn't make it to my house. Oh, I just remember his face and like everybody left the room because Mom had lost it. She had officially lost it. Oh my God. It was so funny. Now, like, now with perspective, I can look back and I can see, like, I was just trying so hard to keep it all together and, you know, to please everybody and to make sure that somehow it would all work out okay. And there was also, you know, so much trauma still in my body from, you know, just the ending of a marriage. Anyone who has gone through the ending of a marriage, I believe, maybe it's too general of a statement, but I believe the ending of a marriage it's like a death. It is very much like the trauma of losing something, which is this belief you have when you get married that it will last forever. And so I was going through this trauma, releasing the anxiety and the pain and, you know, all that you go through in a divorce, and also trying to manage the stress of a high pressure job and performing and dating and being a single mom and like, right? So the car being towed and then not getting the groceries, it was like a bomb exploded inside of me. And yeah. And then the self-judgment, right? When we lose our shit like that, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I lose my shit in front of my kids, like, it's worse. Them and my parents, I can lose my shit in front of a lot of people, but my parents and my children, like, oh, that's bad. I don't like the way I feel. I feel like I should be able to manage my emotions enough. So, yeah, we talked about that a lot, the kids and I. And for all those moments where I lost it in front of them, and there were many, there were lots of those moments. There probably still are, but not as many as there used to be. For all those moments, you know, there were also those moments where, you know, it was just the surrender of, I give up, I can't do it, I don't know how to be perfect. And then they would just love on me and just pour all of this gratitude, you know, to me. And so it has a way of balancing itself out. But when we are in it, when we are in that moment I was describing of nothing is under our control, everything feels like it's just falling apart around us. It's really hard to breathe. It's really hard to find some sort of steadiness or center and, you know, like lift our shoulders back up and open our heart. Like, that's often the hardest part, is opening that heart back up. Being willing to even try, you know, when we're in defense and protection mode, trying to really keep it all together. And then, you know, we slowly start opening. It takes work. It takes time. It's not that it takes work. It takes attention. It takes attention, it takes time, it takes kindness, so much kindness to ourselves, and being open to reflections, you know, allowing support. I mean, the period of deciding to leave my husband, my first husband, and begin the process of separation and divorce it was so humbling, and it was so empowering, because I finally allowed people to see that my life wasn't as pretty as it looked, you know, or as it seemed to be. The inside, I was a mess. I was a mess. Everything around me felt like a mess. There was this truth, you know, that needed to be brought out. It was exactly the Asato Ma Prayer, from darkness into light, from untruth into truth, from death to immortality. You know, this death of the relationship in the way that I was feeling it, and the death of a dream, of a hope of perfection. You know, how do we find a belief that we're infinite and that we're going to be able to continue? And how do we find truth when we've been swimming in our own untruth for so long? You know, how do we find our light when it feels like all the lights have been turned off? It takes patience and kindness and support, a lot of support. And that's, you know, the surrender that I went through. I fell into my parents' arms and home, and I was just loved on by my friends and my family. I mean, what a beautiful lesson for me in how to ask for and then receive support. And sometimes we go through those experiences and we stand back up on our own 2 feet, and we're like, and now I'm back. I've got it. Like, I got this thing, you know, and we try again to do it all by ourselves. And often, I believe, we are offered the gift of being humbled time and again, so that we can come back to, you know, this really sweet space of being grateful, this space of exchanging and giving and receiving, you know, instead of, like many I know, many females in particular, but a lot of males too, you know, this constant, I'm just going to give. I'm going to give everything to everybody. It's all yours, whatever you want. My time, my love, my money, my attention, my everything. You have all of it. And then we forget to receive back, to fill ourselves back up, to allow ourselves to be held, you know, to allow ourselves to receive abundance and joy and pleasure and play, you know, this beautiful idea of play. So this new moon in Aquarius energy, just to bring it all full circle again, this new moon in Aquarius energy feels like an invitation from the universe, from consciousness, from love, from God, whatever name you want to give the unification of energy, the oneness. Maybe that's the best word, right? There's this invitation from oneness for all of us, each of us, to remember to come back together, to remember to allow support, allow more play, more love, allow unification. And sometimes when that invitation is offered, right, it's like the universe handing you everything on a platter and saying, do you want it all? We have to start with little pieces. We have to start with ourselves first. So we can't imagine perhaps everyone being one, like, wow. And sometimes we look at crazy people and we're like, I don't want to be one with them. Don't want to be one with that one. And so who wants to be one with everyone, right? We're kind of rejecting this overwhelming idea that the whole world could be one unified love. It's too big. It's too big. So there are visionaries like me, an Aquarian sun moon, who's like, sun and moon, and we all come together in Aquarius, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good. So visionaries like us can hold the oneness for everyone. And then within that big, beautiful hug, we start with ourselves. So I do my work to allow myself to become more whole, to allow myself to receive and give in beautiful ways, to allow myself to be supported. And then as I'm doing my work and talking about it, and the people around me are like, well, I want to be one with myself too. How do you do that? And so people start doing things to heal themselves. And then soon you've got a whole family, and the whole family, like my family right now, the whole family is like, oh, it's so good. I love you. You love me. We're all supporting each other. It's all so awesome. And then our bond, our unification is so good. And so then other people start to see that as a family unit. They're like, how do you do that? How do you create that? Like, I want some of that goodness. What'd you do? How did you get to that place? Right? So you all speak truth to each other? What? How do you speak truth to your child? Right? My children are my greatest teachers. I know that. My children and my husband are my greatest teachers. And our beautiful aunt who lives with us. She's like in the family. So they are my greatest teachers. And I get to see them all the time. I get to talk to them all the time. And so I'm constantly learning from them and reflecting what I'm learning. And then they're expanding. And then there's just all this beautiful support and communication and just goodness. Just goodness. And then as other families see that, the dynamic between a parent and a child, between siblings, it can start to shift because we hold this possibility of something new so firmly that others can look and go, that's possible for me. I know because I see it. It's happening. It's a possibility. And I'm going to do my work to create that in my family. And then as the families start to get tighter, suddenly we've got communities. What? Communities? Neighborhoods, people all working together, supporting each other. It doesn't take, how would I describe it? Oneness is like the first nucleus being one. And then ping, 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 right? It wakes up all of the cells around it. And so the one in the middle, who is whole, oneness, can impact 50 or 100 or 1,000. And then each of those are one and whole as they do their healing. And each of those can wake up hundreds or thousands. So this one here doesn't have to do it for everybody, just for his or herself, which then ping-pongs everybody else. And so oneness isn't like this, right? Where there's something that's going to gobble us up into one big hug and do the work for us. Oneness is it starts right here with me, with you, with whoever watches this video. It starts with each one of us. And then it starts to spread. And it becomes this expanding circle, concentric circles, right? Ever expanding circles. And pretty soon, the whole field of energy of the world is collaborating and loving and one. I mean, really? Do we have to make it more complicated than that? Like, it's that simple. That's how an Aquarian sun and moon sees this whole idea of unification, of all of us coming together. So for me, it's super easy to be optimistic and hopeful because I know how I feel and I know what's shifting in me. I know who I used to be. I know who I am now. And I'm really happy to be here in this version of myself. So I can't even imagine how good the version of me a year, 2 years, 20 years down the road is going to be because I'm so content. So do you just get more content? I mean, I guess, right? I guess you do. And so as I become more and more content, there's more people around me that are going to be content. Hi, Star. Star's home, which means Angie's home. Oh, it was a good day daycare, wasn't it? Okay, that feels like the sign for transitioning to dinner. There's so much that we can talk about. So come join me, come hang out in this space and let's play. You don't have to be on video. You can be on the phone and we can just do this conversation by the phone, but there's something magical that happens in this space and it's good and it's joyous and it's peaceful. It's expansive, it's healing. So coming and hanging out here is a good thing. All right, the lyrics that I'm going to read to you are from Snatam Kaur's song, Take Me In. I heard it this morning. I was like, oh, yes, like that's the song to talk about tonight. So please look up Take Me In by Snatam Kaur when you're done watching the video and just allow the beauty of what she describes, what you can feel in the vibration of her voice to create an activation or an opening for you. It's just an incredible music. Okay, so here are the words. She's singing it to her God, her source, her creator. And in the tradition she follows, it's Wahe Guru. It's this inner beautiful wisdom of connection to source. So for you, it can be whatever it means to you. Okay. Take Me In by Snatam Kaur. In the grace of thy heart, in the flow of this crazy, crazy life, I meditate on thy name, burning inside like a warm, warm flame. Take me in to where I am and where you begin, to the place where I don't know exactly how the story will go. In your love, I can finally breathe. I can finally be me. As the sun rises in the sky, my soul has already taken flight. Nothing more can I say. I sow thy light each and every day. Take me in to where I am and you begin. To the place where I don't know exactly how the story will go. In your love, I can finally breathe. I can finally be me. What a gift music is. What a gift, what a miracle that you're able to just go find the song and listen to it because someone suggested over this technological journey that we take that it would be a beautiful piece for you to listen to. What a miracle. So much love from my heart to yours. Mwah.